I love the resurrection stories. They're my favourite stories in all of the Gospels. And I think part of the reason for that is you just get the sense that Jesus is having a little bit of fun with his disciples. It's not like this, but it reminds me of, when you finish your exams or something in the summer and you've been having all this stress and suddenly you feel like, a weight is lifted. And you start to just mess around a little bit. Jesus has been dreading the cross. It's been something that's been weighing on him for a very long time. He goes through the cross, he's resurrected again, and suddenly he's just playing with people. The first bit is where he's in the garden and there's Mary and she's crying and she thinks he's the gardener and why are you crying is what he says. And then if you've taken him, tell me where to go. And then he says Mary in the way that he always says Mary, the way that she knew he spoke, Mary. And at that point, the very next thing Jesus says, do you see it? It's like, don't hold on to me, Mary. So it's like he said Mary and she just went, boom, grabbed him, holding on tight, just like, oh my word, don't hold on to me, Mary, I've got to go. The next story, again, I love it. It's like he appears in a locked room, as if that happens all the time. And his opening line is sort of like, you can imagine them all locked in the room, afraid, what's going to happen? And then he just goes into the middle of the room and he goes, peace be with you, my friends. And they're all like, overjoyed to see him. He's obviously enjoying himself. He's obviously playing. And what I love about this gospel is the way that it starts as John is saying, look, we have seen the glory of God. We've touched and we've seen with our eyes the glory of God. And then as he's winding up towards the end, he's not quite at the end yet, but he says at the end of the passage we read today, these stories of miracles have been written so that you might believe in the name of Jesus, and that, he says, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. Jesus comes, and he comes to bring life to us. And so often what we think is that we think he's coming to tell us what to do. And he is, because he's the king of everything. But at the same time, the things he tells us to do lead us towards life, and who he is life itself. We are invited into the gospel of joy. And so whenever we talk about Jesus and whenever we tell our friends about him or we try and witness to our colleagues at work about him, let us remember that coming to know him is coming to know life itself. And what a privilege it is to know him, and what a privilege it is to share with others the glory of who he is.